Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. So 4 things to realistically be a bit bullish about, have a little bit of inspiration in yourselves as to the direction that this is all heading in. So don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, don't forget to like. Those few things really do help this channel. Let me know what you're drinking this morning. I'm drinking a lovely coffee, just standard beans, nothing crazy, just Dow Egbert stuff. Now, with everything that's upcoming, I think this is a good starting point for us to get going on with this video. And the reason why I'm saying this is I believe in a future where LUNC is net green. And by net green, what I mean is we have a very stable system. And instead of this very depletive rent-seeking behavior we're finding, we're actually seeing a good inflow. We're seeing the Oracle pool go up. We're seeing the community pool go up. We've got the tax system sorted. And this all really starts by building a solid foundation moving forward. Disabling USTC minting by raising the Tobin tax to 100% is absolutely key. There's so many weaknesses of our chain that is a big potential to really do some damage in the future if someone figures out some kind of strange arbitrage or whatever, right? Someone buries something in a code update. We just can't be too sure. So we need to really secure these things off. The way I see things is you can't remove the safety barriers and rely on people's goodwill and just putting a sign up saying, don't walk off the edge of this building. There are no safety barriers. Instead, you would find someone would go on their phone and probably wander off at some point. You don't rely on that kind of thing in real life, and we shouldn't rely on it in blockchain technology. This, to me, is an absolutely bullish thing to be very excited about, because ultimately you're not going to see any more USTC adding to the supply. And by that, I mean just people swapping between certain things, and all of those stable coins become 100% worthless as soon as this goes through. And this is a good thing. What I believe is we need to dissect our roots into 2 actual roots, and one of them being USTC, a algorithmic stable coin, and one of those being LUNC. We shouldn't ever mix the 2 going forward, because we just lead ourselves astray. We cross-weave patterns, and one thing has an effect on the other, and it's just sort of, both teams are never going to get on. You're never going to be able to have one team looking over the other team, sort of checking their work. It doesn't work like that. They are like 2 separate chains at this point. So this is a really good factor for me. And another one, which is supposedly in testing, it's either in testing, going into testing, or almost finished testing, one or the other. I'm getting mixed signals depending on what I read from whoever's perspective. But what I do know is this module is coming very soon. And with this module comes that was a lot of varies, wasn't it? A much better Nakamoto efficient. And with that being said, for you, that just means the active set is going to be far more decentralized. We're not going to have this centralized voting power issue moving forward if this module is successful. And in the event that this isn't as successful, there's safeguards in place to more or less prevent any serious damage from happening to anyone, which is really good that seeing these kind of safeguards built in. And this is all part of the united vision moving forward that me and Strafe spoke about. And this route for me was always about bringing unity to the chain, trying to bring everybody together under the banner of just leading by example, so to speak, and actually going in and looking at the core issues and going, how can we fix this? And one of those deeper core issues at the moment is the tax. And this tax system prevents us from actually being in true parity with anybody in the cosmos. We spoke about this in a Twitter space we did yesterday evening. Feel free to go check that out on Twitter. I've also posted a copy of it on YouTube for those who don't have Twitter and don't like going on there. I totally get it. So we've put it there for you. Go back and check on that if you've missed it. Really good listen. Lots of information in there in relevance to this burn tax. And basically what you're doing is taking the really messy tax system and you're tidying it up and you're getting it all into one box and you're presenting that box forward. And instead of that box having loads of different things written on it as to what it does and where it goes, it just simply says transaction tax on it. And that transaction tax can then be broken down Some goes to the Burn wallet, some goes to the validator rewards, some goes to the community pool, some goes to the Oracle pool. You could even add more into the mix. It's a real fruitful route for us to take, and this should solve a lot of our issues moving forward with projects not wanting to more or less come on chain. And this is a big issue we're finding, and don't take my word for it. Go listen to that space and listen to Backbone Labs explaining what the situation is like for someone who's actually external to the Lunc community, and they're looking in, and these are the real world issues we're dealing with. So for me, this is probably one of the most important things we could be bullish about right now. It is a real good sign, a symbol that things are changing, everything's turning around, and things are starting to fall into place. And instead of just providing these band-aid sort of pill fixes, we're bringing in cures. And if we can't bring in a cure, for example, we can't bring in warp protocol, and we can't suddenly make ourselves arrive at labor market when it's not being built. Enterprise hub's not there yet for us, and we're not following that route yet as a community. It still needs to be voted on, right? This is the kind of like band-aid you want to see, as something which is temporary but leads to ultimately a better end result of enterprise or warp being utilized. And like I said, these are 4 things that I think from my perspective are really, really something we should get excited for, because what we're trying to do here is building long pause. If we build an environment where we have these sort of systems in place, right, you don't need a project manager so much. There's not so much hands-on behind the scenes. Instead, it's all sort of just done very correctly. People take their time to post these jobs up, and things can be broken down by chain gurus like Strafe Cole, like Frag, and other people possibly that are on the L1 and get these jobs posted, because they may not have the time, but other people may have the time. The money's there. It brings and fosters in an environment as to which you're starting to automate things. And instead of going, well, we should, probably do this third party, and we should have a foundation guard and all of these different things. Instead, no, just build into the chain. We've got the tools. We should utilize it and bring those tools forward. So not just a developer can use them on a code base level, right? But an L2 can scale this down into a lovely UI where you can post a job yourself. And that's the idea behind Enterprise Hub bringing in a labor market, is that anybody who wants to post a job and has got the money for that job can do it. And there's all sorts of different ways you can mix this in. So the funds come from the community pool, or if we was to create a developers pool and follow that route, it brings so many more routes to play. And it's all becoming one of those things where we see so many times, so many people have got all of these different USTC repeg ideas, but we never actually see a repeg attempt. We've not seen that yet. And it's a huge underlying issue that USTC gets paid out as commission, and it didn't get paid out as commission pre-crash. If you wanted USTC, you had to get it through swapping Luna to USTC, and that was how it was acquired. You only got LUNC as your commission payout. The system's different now, so obviously anybody wishing to pursue that route is gonna not only really annoy a lot of people, but remove a lot of people's commission that they've going to be getting, and you realistically can't balance that out with 176 billion LUNC remaining in the Oracle rewards pool. It's just not something that's doable at this point. But nonetheless, right, moving forward, everything that I'm going to be doing behind the scenes, I'm going to be trying to following and pushing for, is always going to be for LUNC. And I get it, people want to see USTC come back, but as a human being, you've only got so much RAM in your system, so to speak, and you really need to streamline focus. And I believe there is a route for USTC, but for me, I want to focus on LUNC. I want to give her the tools that she really needs to start blossoming and blooming and attracting all of these new developers on board, and having this kind of pay per job system as to which it's like a developer's bounty board for jobs, and they can come, they can earn money. We don't realistically need to sit there and worry and twiddle our thumbs and go, oh, who's going to come work on the chain now? And who's going to do the SDK update? Anybody who's confused about as to who would do these things, trust me, there's so many people behind the scenes working because they want to work, and they're going to be here. If it comes down bite to crunch, these things will get done. And I think, like I've been saying, everybody sort of wants to look towards one person or one group of people that provide all of the information. And the only thing that I can realistically do here for all of you, the community, is keep these updates going, keep you in the circle, keep you in the loop, keep you on a route where you can see everything that's going on instead of you being very confused, very upset, getting frustrated as to don't know where the chain's going. These are 4 really good things that are really going to change the way our chain functions, works, and interacts with other chains. And for me, the route forward will always stand at this current point that we should utilize and build to utilize what Luna are offering our chain, because it's at that point we only need to build towards that. The rest of our energy, resources, money, funding, everything can be focused on shipping out this blockchain to new users, acquiring new users, marketing techniques, and all of these different things that we really need to do as a chain once we're functioning. So it's all sort of, we could play this so differently, but at the same time, we could play it to our advantage and we could utilize what is being offered. And if something's being offered, we should take it if it's within our means to do that. And like I've said previously, it's 1 to 2 months work on a bad day, so to speak. And depending what else comes after that, it shouldn't be a great deal. It's at that point you start to become far more in parity. And it's the burn tax that really does keep us outside of parity. But with all that being said, you've got to accommodate for everybody. If you don't like the burn tax, I get it. If you love the burn tax, I get it. You can never ever be too one-sided on this sort of thing. It really does need to be a Goldilocks tax situation, which better serves everybody and not just one party, because this is DeFi at the end of the day, and everything does come down and should boil down to like these governance-based decisions. And then it's at that point you are decentralized, you are acting as a decentralized community who is self-regulating and not having all of these internal issues, and everybody's in the same boat and everybody's rowing towards the same direction. And I feel like we're beginning to get there with everything that is going on. And hey, something I didn't add on here is the website and the document system that's coming. Regardless if it takes another month, it is coming. It's more or less guaranteed at this point, and it's what the L1 have been working on. So more or less 5 things, 4 real good ones to focus on. The 5th being the website, and things are going to change, folks. Hang in there, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and as always, we'll catch you in the next one.